start firing as we now present an international heavyweight contest. This scheduled for 10 3-minute rounds of boxing, brought to you by Hennessy Sports in association with Mitchell Promotions, live and exclusive on Spike TV from the Derby Arena here in Derby. Timekeeper ringside is Martin Fallon from Wolverhampton. Sean Messett is our referee in charge of this bout from Dudley. Should it go the distance, our referee also scores the contest. Firstly, boxing out of the blue corner. His weight for this contest, 16 stone, 2 pounds, 3 ounces. 68 visits to the ring as a boxer. 56 victories. 42 inside the scheduled distance, 12 defeats on his record. Wearing the yellow shorts trimmed with green and boxing out of Sao Paulo, Brazil. Derby, would you please welcome George Arias? And across the ring stands his undefeated opponent this evening, boxing out of the red corner. 15 stone, 7 pounds, 8 ounces. His weight for the contest. 15 fights, 15 victories, 8 finishing inside the scheduled distance. Tonight, he wears the white shorts trimmed with gold. Boxing out of Manchester, England. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Hughie. Referee Sean Messer will now issue his final instructions.
Listen, give me a good clean fight. When I say break, I'll stop punching and step back. Obey me at all times and protect yourself at all times. Is that understood? Touch your gloves. Come out fighting.
This is an international heavyweight contest. We are scheduled for 10 3-minute rounds of boxing.
Well, Peter Fury said that they approached top 10 and top 15 fighters and they were turned down. George Arias then is the next stepping stone for Hughie Fury after a career best performance, unquestionably against Andre Rudenko. What can Hughie do here tonight against certainly an awkward opponent in the shape of George Arias, but one who's proved over the years that he doesn't travel particularly well. Only his 15th fight, not just outside Brazil, but outside Sao Paulo. And he's only won twice outside of his home city. But he will be awkward, and he has been in with quality, notably as a cruiserweight against Johnny Nelson and Juan Carlos Gomez, the legendary cruiser. Stopped in 4 by him. Let's see what he can do at heavy here against this real prospect. 15 wins from 15 fights. The man in the white trunks here, Hughie Fury.
And Fury has got the amateur pedigree as well, hasn't he, Dave? World amateur, world junior champion, should I say, during his amateur career. Young Hughie Fury, and he looks in good condition, looks slimmer. Looks fit indeed. And he's in against an experienced guy here who will try and hustle him and get up close, rough him up a little bit on the inside. But Fury, I think he's going to have to box at distance the first few rounds. Just take a look at this opponent, who may be awkward early on.
Yeah, 15 stone, 7 for tonight's contest, Hughie Fury. Good straight right hand there from him. He's started with some clean work here. Sharp punching, hurtful punching. Went for the big uppercut there, but Arias clever and cute enough to get out of the way.
Well, Arias is taking some risks here, Dave. There's no head movement. It's all right actually getting up to your opponent like that, but you've got to move your head. Otherwise, you're going to get caught with those jabs from Fury, who's got a terrific jab and also a long, straight right hand. He gets a lot of power behind that shot. So, Arias, if he's going to close that gap down, OK, but move your head while you're doing it, or you'll get caught coming in.
One of the most impressive things about Hughie Fury's victory against Rudenko last time was that he'd been out of the ring for 9 months. He was entitled to look a little sluggish. He came through. It was a rough, tough fight. But he looks a different fighter tonight. This is a rejuvenated Hughie Fury. Really bright opening round. On his toes, looking for openings. Finding a couple here and there. And Arias, as Richie said, continues to plough forward and take rather more risks than we'd expected him to.
Can't keep taking right hands like that. There's a lovely right hand around the guard from Fury there, around Arias' left hand, that guard. Can't keep taking shots like that. You can see from Fury's style, he wants to box at distance and at range. He's tall, that's where his strength is. Behind that jab, those long straight shots. And Arias, he's going to try and, like I say, rough him up on the inside.
Yeah,
make
that
it
was
ugly.
more what we'd expected, wasn't it, from Arias? We approach the end of a round that's been dominated by Hughie Fury. Yeah, good start there from Hughie Fury, who wants to be known as more than Tyson's cousin. Let's take a look at some of his work, Richie.
Yeah, some good stuff here from Fury. There's that right hand. That's a super shot there. And he just wants to keep and maintain that gap at all costs, does young Hughie Fury. Just gets backed up in the corner, but let's fly with the 1-2 there. But no head movement from Arias.
I want to see you feint more, yeah? Throw your shot, spin off the front foot and come into the centre, yeah? And then ease your way back. As you go back, keep throwing your shots. You understand? You're on the ropes too much. And also throw your shots.
The voice there of Peter Fury. Hughie's dad in his corner, and unbeaten as amateur or pro ever since his dad trained him. He had some problems early on, potential but not fulfilling it, but you can see the technical work they've done with him, rather like Tyson Fury. I think Tyson in particular always underrated as a technical fighter. People see him as this street fighting man, but he's an awful lot more than that. And Hughie is too. That was a good right to the body to start round 2.
Well, his father there in trainer says he wants to see him, spin off and get off the ropes, because what's happening if Hughie, when he goes back onto the ropes, his feet come square, and there's an example there, you see, and that will give then Arias maybe an opportunity to land a body shot. So he wants him to just keep hitting and moving, spin off that front foot and try and gain the centre of the ring. That's the only chance that Arias has got, you see, when he backs Fury up onto those ropes. He may have a chance then to land a couple of body shots or whip one over the top.
Good work with the jab there again from Hughie Fury. And taking his time and waiting for openings as Arias comes forward and tries to smother him again. All of that ring craft from Arias. 69th fight here tonight. Extraordinary experience. 406 professional rounds to 62 from Hughie Fury, but Hughie's opening up here.
Yeah, he just caught him with a lovely sharp little right hand, Dave, and we spoke about it earlier. You can't keep taking those punches. Little head movement, walks onto a good shot, and Fury now seizing the opportunity.
Needs to just take that little step back and pick his shots and not get overexcited. Good right to the body, mixing up his work well here. Arias is very, very tough, really durable, but in trouble again here. This is really good from Hughie Fury now.
Big punches going in from Fury, trying to get around the guard with that right hand, you see. Arias keeping the guard high, but little gaps are appearing, and that's what Fury is trying to exploit there with an accurate punch around the guard of his opponent, trying to land on the target.
Yeah, he looked for that looping left hook as well around the guard, tried to mix it up, tried to vary his work. Arias just recovered, I think, from that shot around about a minute ago. That was another good right, though, from Hughie. Confident enough to briefly switch to southpaw there, and then back in the orthodox pose. Little short right there from Hughie. This is really good work from him. And there's a left from Arias on the break. And the referee rightly across to Talibov for that.
A bit naughty there from Arias. Just catching Fury literally on the break, and the referee has said break, and he's carried on punching. A bit naughty, but another dominant round for Hughie Fury.
Yeah, really impressive this. Bit more of Peter Fury's plan put into practice in that second round.
Don't take your eyes off. No. Stupid, yeah? Keep your eyes on your opponent.
Some great work here from Fury, some big right hands going in. There's that one around the guard again, accurate punch. And that really started the ball rolling there. Getting through with some cracking shots there, another one. Great right hand from Fury. So his accuracy is there, and finishing on there, that left hook. It's not quite so accurate, but nevertheless, it's the right hand that's been doing the damage. This is on the break, just carries on. He knows exactly what he's doing. That's why the referee is giving him a little bit of a roasting, and rightly so.
Well, the wife and daughter of George Arias in his corner, travelling with him, looking after him. Last time he was here was 7 years ago when he fought Audley Harrison on the Bradis Prescott Amir Khan undercard. And many of the crowd ended up cheering George Arias in what wasn't the best fight. More entertainment already in the opening two of this than there was in the whole of that. Just shows how durable he is, though Audley Harrison couldn't get him out of there. Excellent right to the body again. Can't really emphasise enough, Richie, how much better and sharper Hughie Fury looks tonight with that leaner body and those lighter feet.
He looks very sharp indeed. Just going to maybe just pace himself a little bit. This is only the third round of a 10-rounder, remember. And he's not been the busiest of boxers. Before his last fight against Reino, remember, he had that blood virus and he was out for 9 months. So he really is getting back into the swing of things, Hughie Fury. It's a good performance up to now, but he's just got to pace himself a little bit, because this guy is experienced and will want to take Fury into those later rounds. If he keeps getting caught with right hands that Fury's been dishing out, that certainly won't be the case.
And he fought Johnny Nelson for that WBO cruiserweight title in York Hall in Bethnal Green. That was 14 years ago now. And he rocked Johnny Nelson in round one as well. When he gets it right, he does have a punch. That was borderline there from Hughie, the right to the body, and then switches back up behind that left jab.
It's good boxing though, Dave. You see, he's on the outside. He's not leaning in after he's punched. He's not falling in on his opponent. He's back on the outside, looking for the next attack, maintaining the gap between himself and his opponent, which is so important for Hughie Fury. Look, back on the outside, landed a good shot. That's good boxing.
Those bounced off the gloves there of George Arias, but he is looking to, as Richie said, find those shots around the guard. He's already rocked him with one. Back behind the southpaw stance just for a moment. Constantly switching. We saw him do it against Reino and got in a bit of a tangle with it. But they've been working hard on that in the gym. It's something that Tyson Fury does to great effect. Arias just reminding Fury that he's in a fight, that he too has danger in his hands.
As long as Hughie Fury maintains the gap, he'll be okay. It's just when Arias closes the gap down, then he's in with a shout of maybe landing a shot. But the movement's good from Fury at this stage, not holding the feet for too long.
A little bit more success towards the end of this round three for the veteran Brazilian George Arias, but only a little bit. Another solid round there for Hughie Fury. Try and take a listen to Peter in the corner.
All right, look, you're on the ropes too much, yeah? I want you to look, use your skill, yeah?
Lovely boxing there from Hughie Fury, a 1-2, and then gets back on the outside. Look at that for a jab, and then maintains the gap. What he does, he just takes a step back, just to create that distance. Good.
Winning it, it's how you're going to do it. Do you understand? So, winning it's not a problem, just don't get careless, yeah? And don't let him set his feet to land big shots. Yeah. That's it. So basically now, use your skill boxing, nice long arms, yeah? Feint, work your way in, pull his guard out the way, bang, yeah? And then get your foot, spin off round the back of him, and get that centre there and work it, yeah?
Just like your dad said, pull his arms away from his own.
Listen, pull his arms long like that, move, bang,
start moving quick.
Yeah?
Moves onto here, pull him away.
Little masterclass there from Peter Fury and Clifton Mitchell in the corner, Richie.
Yeah, well, I thought it was good advice. They want him to hold the centre of the ring a little bit more, stay off the ropes. We won't mention pulling down the arms or whatever, Dave, but there you go.
Richie, no. I was going to say a young fighter making his way, and just a little bit of older advice, a trick or two that you would never use. Arias keeps coming forward, who knew he'd be game. Always has been. You can never take a fighter lightly when they come in, even at the age of 41. Having won 15 of the last 16, whoever the opponent, whatever the location, still got to be respected. Well, there's another furious warning. He was going to actually have a word with Hughie, wasn't he? And then Arias kept coming.
I think he's on about Hughie Fury just pushing his opponent away with that left hand. Not allowed to do that. But that's good boxing again from Fury.
There's a lot to like about the variety here from Hughie Fury as well. Happy to throw to the body. Happy to throw to the head as well and just try and get that guard moving, trying to confuse Arias, trying to find that clean shot.
You can see what Arias is trying to do here, Dave. He's going to just try and take Hughie Fury into the later rounds. He's trying to soak up the pressure, taking a lot of risks, not bothering to move the head, keeping the guard high. And there's a lot of punches that are actually hitting the arms and the elbows. So Hughie Fury has got to get his accuracy sorted out, try and land a couple of big shots again and hurt this guy.
Yeah, he put some real spite into that body shot there. He planted his feet, Hughie Fury, and landed it, but Arias apparently unaffected. For boxing at range and light on his feet. Remember the advice from Peter as well in the corner, don't let him plant his feet and land a big shot. They see that as the only danger. That was a good right from Arias.
Yeah, what you don't want you see is that for Arias just to gain a bit of confidence and get it in his mind that he can take the shots from Fury. That's why Fury's got to just concentrate and just settle down a little bit and land a couple of good shots again. See, that's hitting the arms there. So he's just got to sort the accuracy out a little bit and concentrate on hitting that target and trying to hurt this fella.
Well, 4 rounds gone. 4 rounds certainly for Hughie Fury.
The power of the shot, yeah. And he's got this up now, Cam.
I mean, good boxing from Fury. Is a good shot there, and then he steps back, maintains that gap, doesn't want anything to do with Arias on the inside. Little change of movement direction there. That was lovely from Fury. The movement is very important indeed. Just gets caught, clipped there with a shot. So there were a couple of signs from Arias in that round. Nothing too dangerous.
Yeah. So listen, use your foot and spin off. You're doing too much work here. Look. You know what to do. Yeah. Feint 1-2 quick. Yeah. Spin off to the centre. Listening. How do you feel, all right?
Well, the 2012 World Junior Champion says he wasn't interested in the 2016 Olympics. He wanted to turn pro to learn his job properly. It continues to be a learning curve for Hughie Fury. And we know from recent weeks, let alone recent years, just how quickly promising heavyweight careers can be all but over. Just asked David Price last week. That's, if you like, the thrill and the unfortunate thing about this division, it can change in a heartbeat. But at the moment, Hughie Fury developing well.
Arias is just trying to make Hughie Fury just punch himself out here, Dave. I'm pretty convinced of it now. Not a lot coming from Arias. He's coming forward, just blocking everything. Very low work rate. And he'll be looking to take him into those 8th, 9th, 10th round maybe, and then have a go.
Just doing enough maybe to occupy him now and hoping for a late flurry. Certainly a good opponent though.
And a tough opponent. And that's what he should be doing there, you see, Fury. He's hit the target then, he walked to the centre. That's what his father's talking about. But now you see, he's in a negative position again. He goes back into the corner or onto the ropes. His father wants him to hit him and then spin off that front foot and gain the centre of the ring and trying to keep the opponent then on the outside.
Yeah, a lot of these punches they're scoring shots. He'll be winning the rounds cleanly, but they're bouncing off the arms and the gloves. All of that can eventually affect you, can't it? You can wear down the guard of a fighter. There's a right from Fury.
Yeah, not a bad right hand that, but what he's got to do now, Dave, also, he's just changed the angle of the shot. What he's got to do is start bringing some right uppercuts through the middle. I think Arias is taking a lot of the shots on the arms, on the gloves. So let's just vary it a little bit. Maybe the right uppercut after the jab, feint the jab, and then throw the right uppercut through the middle. That may be a shot that he could try. You know, there we go, on cue.
That's why you get the big bucks, Richie. And there's Arias with a double jab, and Hughie Fury almost gave him a look there as if to say, how dare you, I've been controlling this fight. Again, Fury the one backed into the corner, but seemingly comfortable. His last fight against Andre Rudenko was particularly scrappy. This one hasn't really been like that. Hughie Fury has looked good, but is it turning a bit more into Arias's kind of fight as we enter the second half of the contest? It's better work there from Arias, who's still in there fighting and maybe about to make it interesting. Well, let's get the view of the other member of the Furious too. Tyson Fury's with Andy Clark.
So Tyson, how do you feel it's going so far?
It's going really good, you know. Hughie's using a lot of boxing skill, a lot of movement, a lot of speed, a lot of punches, you know, showing a lot tonight. You don't see this type of boxing from a heavyweight, not 6'6" and 16 stone, so he's doing very, very well against a durable, tough opponent in Arias.
He's very difficult to stop, Arias, but he almost got the job done a couple of rounds ago.
He almost did in round 2. I believe he caught him with a short up to the temple. It wasn't meant to be in round 2. He's getting brought down at the minute, and I hopefully think he'll get the stoppage.
Thanks.
Second out, round 6.
Well, I said to Tyson Fury before the fight, let you do the talking and Hughie do the fighting. That's the way it's been so far. Tyson clearly impressed by cousin Hughie so far.
I think Hughie just needs to hold that centre a little bit more, Dave, and probably make a statement and literally not step back and just push the man back with a good jab. But again, we're going into a pattern of him on the outside. Well, you know, I think his coach and his father would rather see him standing centre and trying to keep his opponent on the outside with long straight shots and not to give ground.
That was nicely done, little feint, then he caught him with the right hook around the guard. He's having to think here, Richie, isn't he, Hughie, which is no bad thing.
Well, he's up against a tough guy, isn't he, at the end of the day? And although at times it seems that Hughie Fury's the only one punching him there, this guy is a bit awkward and he's dangerous, no question. I mean, 42 knockouts in his 56 victories shows you must respect the man's power. Yeah, but in this situation, Damon, sorry to interrupt, but in this situation, it's very, very important not to panic. Just stick behind your boxing. He will be fit enough. He's gone through hard training camps with probably good sparring with Tyson himself. So he's got the fitness there. Just believing in his confidence and not to panic.
Yeah, he's been training in France with Tyson, and they'll continue to help each other along the way. Hughie will be part of the team. He'll probably fight on the bill in Dusseldorf when Tyson challenges Vladimir Klitschko. And isn't the build-up to that going to be entertaining? Pops that double jab, Hughie, and continues to make himself mobile. Arias complaining there about the pushing again. But if Arias has had the plan, Richie, to take Hughie into the later rounds and try and do something late on, it's going to have to start soon.
He's not doing enough work. I mean, occasionally, like we're seeing here now, he's starting to let fly with a few shots, but it's very rare. Arias not doing enough. You can see the intention, and I really believe he's trying to make Tyson Fury just punch himself out a little bit. That's a hell of a risk to take.
He landed a good right towards the end of that round. Hughie Fury, it's certainly another one in the bank for him. You couldn't make any case for George Arias having won any of the rounds so far. But he's durable and he's still in there. Just a little nick maybe above the left eye, but nothing serious. And there you have it. Wife and daughter looking after him. And doubtless Peter Fury in the opposite corner, just keeping Hughie calm, and they've got a great relationship in there, certainly.
So basically, nice and relaxed, focus, get your second win back. We're into the 7th round now, yeah? So listen, nice and relaxed, yeah? Hands up, and just hold him there, yeah? And then mess him around, yeah? Second round, 7.
So round 7 then of a schedule 10. Hughie Fury in those white trunks, watched by his cousin Tyson, against George Arias, 41 years of age, still going strong and still just about hanging on in there.
When you look at Hughie's record, he was one of the busiest heavyweights in the world, wasn't he? When he made his debut in 2013, he had something like 12, 13 contests in that first year. He used to be boxing every other week. And they say the best boxers are the busy boxers. Had the blood virus, and that put him out for 9 months. But I think he's a very fit kid. He's coming to this contest, Dave, looking in very good shape, as we've said. And in that last contest against Rudenko, he went 10 rounds for the first time. So again, it's another educating fight for him here.
Yeah, Arias just starting to try and get inside and maybe rough him up. Just hope that the tank is draining, but it doesn't look like it is at the moment. Arias has been around long enough to know that it might. Long enough to know that as long as he's in there, he still has a chance.
Yeah, the problem for Arias, he just can't cope with that movement. Fury's hitting the target, then moving. Just standing in one place for too long at all. When he does, Arias, there's no head movement. He just can't get close enough to land the shot. But again, good boxing there from Hughie Fury. Just switching to the body and then goes back on the outside. He needs Fury to stand and trade, does Arias. And Fury, quite rightly, is not doing that.
Yeah, maturity a long way beyond his years at the moment from Hughie Fury. He did a good performance here tonight. Impressive performance, something different from him. There's one or two who feel that he doesn't quite have that knockout punch. 8 knockouts in his 15 wins. 4 points wins in his last 6. Heavyweights are all about knockouts, are all about entertainment.
I think what Fury's got to be aware of now, Dave, is that at some point over these next 3 rounds or so, and this fella is going to come in, he's going to come on strong, because he's going to have a go. I can't see him just boxing like this right to the very end. He will show some ambition and try and get to Fury, and it's going to be within the next 3 rounds, obviously. So he's just got to be very aware of that and watch for that attack.
Looks comfortable though. Arias again trying to back him into that corner, trying to get in close where he feels he might be able to do some damage, but another one in the bank certainly for Hughie Fury.
conserve energy, you throw a lot of punches, yeah? Basically, 2 rounds left.
Another shutout round for me, for Hughie Fury. Boxed well here, just switched to the body there with that right hand. Staying on the outside.
Basically,
he's won every round.
Put your hands down again, show him all that, yeah? Listening, right? And just relax and feint. You better keep him off to feint him, yeah? Bang, bang, quick. Don't load up with the power. Straight, touch him up and move and just play with him like that. You understand?
Centre of the ring, your hands down.
And get the centre. They don't know what to do. Don't know what to do, yeah? Enjoy it. To the 8th round now, anyway.
When I start the fight, I'm going to call out to
Just a little look there at the glove of George Arias. They want a bit more tape on it. I think there's a cut, isn't there, in the thumb there? They're going to have to take that up.
They may have to change the glove here,
Yeah,
Dave.
this could take a while. Another glove is arriving here, Richie. Well, it's a slightly unwelcome delay, but it's no one's fault. Impressed with the speed at which the new glove arrived, actually. Slightly off-putting for Hughie Fury, who's got to pace up and down and get himself ready. 3 rounds to go here.
When you look at Arias' record, Dave, I mean, for some good fighters, you know, Sinan Samuel Sam from Turkey, Juan Carlos Gomez, the great Cuban, the cruiserweight champ Fabrice Tiosa, Denis Boytsov, Russian, and of course Audley Harrison, Johnny Nelson, Fres Aquemno. These are all good fighters, and he hasn't beat any of them, but it's the experience. He's been around the block a few times.
Yeah, you're right. And it's no shame when someone as good as Gomez stops you early. A rare stoppage, really, for him. Stopped in 4, but boy, was Gomez a good technician.
Oh, tremendous. I mean, he had something like 10 defences of the WBC Cruiserweight title, Gomez. So he has been in with some quality opposition, Arias.
Well, we're in the throes of getting this glove changed. The new one is on. Crowd getting a little bit restless, but showing admirable patience in general. Finally, the tape's going to go on and everything should just about be okay. Well, it could have taken a horrendously long amount of time. That I thought they did well to get it off and on again. And we're ready to go. The start of round 8. Well, let's hope it hasn't disturbed the rhythm of Hughie Fury too much. No reason why it should have done. And all these little things are all new experiences. One thing it will have done is given Arias a breather. Hughie Fury just needs to be careful over these closing 3 rounds. Arias now will start to bulldoze forward and try and use that experience that Richie was talking about against those quality fighters.
I think it may have given Fury a little bit of a breather as well, Dave. His punches seem to be a little bit sharper. And who knows, Arias might just walk onto another one of those right hands.
Yeah, there was just a moment, wasn't there, in the second when you wondered if Fury would get this fella out quickly.
A lot of single shots as well from Fury, so maybe doubling up and travelling up the punches a little bit. The only thing wrong that I would criticise Fury for in this contest so far, Dave, has just been his ring position on the ropes, in the corners, and his corner have said that, haven't they? They're not happy with that. They want him to hold centre a lot more, but he hasn't been able to do that. And it just gives the opposition, like it does there, look, you see, because his feet come square, it just gives the opposition a glimmer of hope to land some shots downstairs.
Just a couple of times there as well, Fury started to flick out that jab. Can't get lazy with that jab. You leave yourself open to something nasty coming the other way.
Again, I'd like to see Fury, after that jab, throw that right uppercut and finish on that left hook, either to the body or the head. The opponent's in front of you, there's little head movement. That's something he could try.
And for a man who's dominating the fight to the extent that he is, again, that curious ring position. Fury so often the one going backwards here, certainly landing a lot more and certainly in control.
I think the movement's the correct thing to do here, because Arias can't cope with it, but it's moving back onto the ropes and from corner to corner, which is the problem, and that's what Peter Fury, obviously his coach, isn't happy about.
Good right uppercut in there, wasn't there, from Hughie Fury? That was a shot you wanted to see a little bit more of, and he can throw it and he can land it accurately. No reason not to throw it.
And this is where I expect a little bit more work now from Arias. He's been doing this all this fight now. I'm expecting him to come forward and start throwing the shots, and he will know that he's got to land the one shot to actually win the contest with.
But it's 2 rounds now, 2 rounds, 1 shot. That's Arias' chance. Let's hear Peter Fury in the corner.
Here's this. Right. Fast. Rather than in front of him or anything, like I said, throw your shots, tie him up, and lean on him, yeah? Right? Let the referee time up. Yeah, he will just land over the top of him, yeah? Referee, break it up, get yourself a bit of time, just play with him. That's all you got to do. Yeah? Yeah? Nice and shot, bang, 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 tie him up. Yeah? Get up on top of him, yeah? Wrap your arm under there. Referee will break it up. Get yourself a bit of time. And look, moving like that. Think with the shots, bang, bang, and spin out. He's got no answer for it anyway, yeah.
How to win a fight.
Looking for the big shot.
Peter Fury giving him the blueprint there. It's work is done, so looking to make their way safely over the finish line rather than take a risk to force a stoppage.
What Peter Fury's on about there, he wants him to hold his feet a little bit more, and as he comes forward, just to hold him and wait for the referee to split them over. I suppose a bit like a Vladimir Klitschko tactic. He pinches, if the opponent comes forward and closes the gap, he just grabs and holds, waits for the referee to stop and break them up, and away he goes again. But Hughie is back on his bike, and he prefers the movement.
I was going to say that, Richie. Hughie's been doing a bit of pushing in this fight, a bit of holding. Is he preparing to spar Tyson for Vladimir, do you think? Well, having said that, Vladimir Klitschko's a lot more than someone who just pushes his opponents down and holds. It's just that he's renowned for those things that helped him to his success. But he's a fine fighter, and that will be a fine fight. Arias, if he was planning a grandstand finish here to wear Hughie Fury down, we haven't seen it, and I don't think we're likely to. There you go. There's the tactics of the corner put into effect.
Yeah, it's disappointing from Arias, isn't it, at the end of the day, because these are the rounds now you'd expect him to just come out of that shell a little bit, and instead that's good work from Hughie Fury. 3 or 4 shots. Goes on a walkabout again, and Arias is just following his opponent, but he's not really stamping any authority. He's not ambitious enough. Probably the 41 years, Dave, are telling a little bit here.
He's old enough to be his father, and he's trying to hunt him down here, but Hughie and his father have been far too good here for Arias. Unless George Arias could come up with a big shot in the last 3.5 minutes of this fight. We haven't seen any real indication that he might. Since round 2, we haven't seen any particular indication that Hughie Fury will stop the Brazilian here. There's a trip. In another sport, played just down the road, it's a clear penalty, but nothing wrong with it here. So, as we head the final round, a test for Hughie Fury. Another test of endurance as well, getting these rounds under the belt. That's important, Richie.
It is indeed. In his last contest, he went 10 rounds. Looks like he's going to go another 10 rounds here. He's learning. Got to improve his power a little bit. And that looked to have the contest won, didn't he, early on?
Yeah. Try and come off the centre. Look, come out the centre, yeah? Hands up and show him more lap. And feint him, come over with the big up. You'll catch him with it. Yeah?
One of our colleagues who shall remain nameless suggested that might have been a dive, Richie, but if it had happened at the Hawthorn, you'd have been screaming for a penalty.
Without a shadow of a doubt. And we'd have got one.
The shoulders with him. Yeah? Listen.
So the 10th and final round then. Hughie Fury in the white and gold trunks against George Arias from Sao Paulo, who has come here to survive and has done that so far. Hughie Fury was ranked 33 by the WBC after that points win against Andre Rudenko. Not sure that ranking is going to necessarily improve here, but he's improving, and this has been far more impressive than that fight was.
I think Peter Fury, his coach, will take him back into the gym, and he may have some things to say to him about just steadying down a little bit and just holding his opponent, working on the inside. He doesn't do any work on the inside, young Hughie Fury. Prefers to box at distance. Look there, just hold him. He's got to learn to work on the inside here and there and just slow things down, and probably Peter Fury won't be too pleased with everything here tonight because of that fact that he's just hit and moved, and he hasn't held him at any stage, and just biding his time and just literally run the clock down, Dave. He hasn't done that.
Arias coming forward, but caught as he did so. Good movement tonight from Hughie Fury, decent accuracy as well, but he hasn't been able to get Arias out of there. And in terms of his power, Richie, you've said to me before that fighters, young fighters, can grow into their power. Do you think he might?
Absolutely. Yes, I do. I think he's got good technique, and I think he has got good power. We've seen that early on in this contest. It's carrying that power through to the final rounds is the key, and I think he can do that in time.
That was good. Good combination there from Hughie Fury. And he will be 16 out of 16. And that, at the end of it, is the main thing. You want your fighter to win. It's all you like about a learning experience, but the W is the big thing, and he's going to get that. Fascinating, isn't it? The contest in the last 3 or 4 rounds has involved Hughie Fury sort of strolling around the outside and popping single shots. That was better again from him, though, when they engaged.
I think there are a lot of positives to take from the contest for Fury. Overall, I mean, he hasn't lost a round, Dave, at the end of the day. And you can't be too disappointed with that if you've won every round in a contest.
Yep. That's what you're setting out to do, and that's what he's done. The crowd getting excited here ahead of the main event. Well, Hughie Fury will have tougher tests than that. And it's interesting that Peter Fury said beforehand that they were looking to fighters, if you like, higher up the ladder, but they were turning him down. They maybe see him as too much of a risk at this stage. But he's okay. He's developing. His cousin will do the talking. His cousin will grab the headlines. And he will keep getting better and better. Might be a slow process, but it could end up being a very exciting one. And the main thing for Arias, well, wife and daughter in his corner, and he's returned and he's okay, and I'm sure that's all that they care about. No great surprises here. Every round, it'll be amazing if every round hasn't gone to Hughie Fury. Well, we can get over to our MC, Paul Booth, for the reading of the scorecards.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. After 10 3-minute rounds of international heavyweight boxing, we ask our scoring referee to decide the contest. He sees it as 100 points to 90 points in favour of our winner. And still undefeated from Manchester, England, Hughie Lewis Fury.
Another win then for Hughie Fury. 16 wins from 16. All the reaction, all the analysis as cousin Tyson looks on.